You're very welcome to lie down on your back. Excuse me. You're also very welcome to have blocks to go under your thighs, especially if you're feeling a bit stiff in the lower back. And once you get there, I'm going to turn off and on my video because I realize it's lost its focus. And as you lie on your back, just allow yourself to surrender your weight, to notice how you're doing today, in this moment, after whatever exertions or relaxations you have enjoyed that's brought you here to this moment. Checking in with what feels okay in your body. What bits of you are doing okay today? Maybe even what bits of you are doing really well today. What bits of you feel super duper comfortable? What bits have the Goldilocks effect going on so they're not too hot or too cold? The surface isn't too hard or too soft, so that they're all just right. And then see if there's any bits of you that feel yummy. Like maybe a bit of you that hasn't rested for a while, it's resting now, and feels the joy of that. Could you translate that just right temperature into actually something that's quite pleasant? Could you translate the perfect texture that you found, the thing that was not too hard, not too soft, against which your body is resting? Could you translate that into pleasure of full surrender? What feels good? And then could you take your hands to your belly and just offer your belly some soft clockwise stroking, touch, or pressure if you're wanting it. But just notice if you've immediately gone into sort of therapeutic sort my belly out, push massage kind of situation. Or could you just allow yourself to stroke that belly very softly and kindly with no intention other than to enjoy the sensation of stroking your belly? Maybe it's the texture of your cloth that you like, or the actual pressure of the hand. Maybe it's the belly that likes the feeling, or the hand that likes the feeling. And then take that circling of your hand up to your solar plexus. So you're doing a little small circling there, just where your ribs go up into a V towards your sternum. And do the same a little higher up between your breasts, little circles on your sternum. Same a little higher up. Same a little higher up just before you come to the level of the collarbones. And then take your two hands and circle out along either under or on the collarbones, whatever feels nice for you, till you get to those hollows, and give a little press down to those hollows just under the collarbones. Called lung point in, I think, Chinese medicine or shiatsu, I'm not sure, or acupuncture. Well, that's Chinese medicine, isn't it? So if you can press down into those hollows, like you're trying to push the hollows down towards your hips. And as you inhale, really breathe up into those fingers. let go of that. And instead, a nice gentle stroking of your two arms from the shoulders down to the elbows. So crossing over and stroking downward from your shoulders to your elbows. Soothing stroke. And then stroking from the elbows down to the wrists. The elbows down to the wrists. And then stroking your own hands like you're very slow motion washing your hands. And feeling the skin, dry or oily, soft or coarse, doesn't matter. How is it? And then use those hands to stroke your face, stroking your forehead and eyebrows, your eyelids, your temples, your cheeks and cheekbones, kindly, softly, your chin, your nose, your top lip, your chin. And as you stroke the sides of your cheeks down to your jaw, let the hands get a little more robust and pull the jaw open with your fingers. And let that massage go all the way from the temples, down in front of your ears, down to your jaw, down along the bottom jaw to the chin. Letting the jaw open as you go. One more time. Down from the temple to the jaw and down to the chin. A little holding at the back of your neck. So bring your hands around the back of your neck, curling the hands around, and just see, do you just want to hold them? Hold your neck? Or do you want to massage maybe down each side of the vertebrae? You get to decide what you need today. Strokes, holding, or quite robust pressing there. Follow your instinct here around the shoulder area. You might find you want to take a hand away and go across to the opposite shoulder and work into it if they're feeling tense, or you might be perfectly happy with the gentler sort of stroking and whatnot. And then we're going to slide our hands down the side of our body. So from the armpits, breasts, the ribs, the waist down to the hips. And then we're going to stroke or massage into our hips. So try and get into the joints. So you're more accessible, or they are more accessible towards the front of the pelvis and maybe to the sides, into the joints where you feel the greater trochanter, the sticky out bit at the top of the thigh bone. Massaging then your thighs, so maybe one thigh at a time. So lifting that foot off the floor and massaging the thigh, a great thing for your thighs and bum is if you were to put one foot on that block or the floor and wobble your thighs, wobble, wobble, wobble. Try and be as relaxed as you can so that the bum wobbles too. Not a pretty sight, but feels good for the tissues. Do the same on the other side. Wobble, wobble, wobble. 2 hands to wobble. The foot floats, you can get a good wobble. You can get a better grip if the foot's floating, but maybe it's hard for your core. Floppy, floppy, flop, 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 flop. Enjoy your flesh. And massage one knee. So they really need a lot of TLC, the knees. Down into the calf, the ankle, and your foot. Don't work so hard that your hands get knackered, but do touch the body. Nearly done in terms of all the surfaces apart from the back and the pelvic floor. And then the other side, the other knee, calf and shin, ankle, foot, and toes. And then rest. And we're going to massage our back by having our feet on the floor and flossing the spine, which means that we're using the feet to push the spine up and down on the floor. So it's just a rocking, and up and down rocking. Takes a bit of effort from the legs. And if you really go for it, then your spine is moving up and down. The spinal cord is moving in your spine. Your neck is moving and your pelvic floor is moving. Your vulval tissue is moving. So everything is moving now. So you don't need to feel that you've neglected anything. But really the spine likes this flossing, the spinal cord particularly. And then come back to neutral and notice how you're doing. Maybe more pleasure in your body now. What might you notice that feels yummy? And then when you're ready, could you extend your forelimbs out wide like a starfish? I'm just going to move in the room so that I have a bit more space. So you want the space of about an opened out blanket or an opened out duvet, maybe a small double bed kind of size. So you're spread eagled, starfish wise. Feel your armpits open, your groins open. Inhale here. And as you exhale, imagine that everything is about to draw dramatically into your center, as if your limbs are going to come into your center and everything's going to get swallowed up by your navel. As you inhale, relax. As you exhale, draw the navel down. Imagine everything is going to recoil into the navel. And then inhale out. You don't want to go as fast as I was saying, that sudden movement. That's just to try and give you an image of something drawing into center. It's called vagination when something folds in on itself. It's the word that's used for when an egg has been fertilized by sperm, that when the cells start to divide, there's a certain point in the development that they sort of start to fold in and in and in on one another. And that's called vagination, which I think is a fabulous word. So I'm going to ask you to vaginate here. So we're inhaling and we are open. And as we exhale, we curl, fold in on our center and roll to our side, curling up into a little ball in on ourselves. Inhaling, we do the opposite. We extend out and wide. And exhale, we vaginate into the navel. So folding in towards your navel. Inhaling to open wide. Exhaling to curl in on yourself. Onto your right side. Inhale to open out as if you're extending from your navel to your forelimbs. Exhale as if you're curling in from your navel, like your navel is calling your legs and arms and head in. Why am I asking you to move as if the navel is extending the arms and the legs rather than just taking these shapes? It's so you really get involved in the whole body and nervous system and imaginative experience. So there is nothing but the movement, and that it is not just physical jerks from A to B and A to B, but that there is imagination that allows you to feel this unfurling into a safe openness, and this refurling, a whole new word, furling inward into a safe and present centeredness. How sensually can you move on the floor? How connected to your center can you stay? You don't need a yoga mat. In fact, a yoga mat might hinder you here. The best thing to do this particular somatic practice on is a wooden floor with a blanket on top of the wooden floor that was going to slide with you. A few more each side. Moving from the navel, folding out and folding in on yourself. Aware of the pleasure at your center. Could you begin to bring that to a close, but notice, where do you want to stop? Do you want to stop on your back or on your side and just let yourself do that? Do you even want to stop, or do you want to continue a little while longer? Do that either. But when you do stop, just notice again the afterglow. And then when you're ready, could you roll over onto your belly? I'm going to put something soft under me at this stage because I know I'm not going to be squirming around. I have the facility, or there won't be a hindrance in having something soft under me. And as you lie on your front, choose whether to rest your head on your hands, your forehead on your hands with a neutral neck, or you might want to rest your cheek on your hands. Or if it's possible for your neck to rest your cheek on the floor and bring your hands down by your sides, do that. Or you might be able to do that with one hand under your cheek. Let's see what works for you. And relax your shoulders would be a priority. Whatever you like. Relax your bum. And give your bum a little wobble side to side. So if you could imagine that you're not in charge of this wobbling, that would be great. So imagine someone is standing with their feet either side of your pelvis, and they're just using their feet or their ankles to push your pelvis side to side. So they're rocking you, you're being rocked. And let the flesh of your bum wobble like jelly, side to side. And then come back to stillness. And then taking your forward to the floor, bringing your hands up kind of cactus style. So your elbows are about in line with your shoulders and your hands are wider than the mat, just off the mat, I'd say, for most people. And the hands are in line with the elbows. The hands are not out here, not in here, in line with the elbows. Like, you know, kind of cartoon cactus arms. Inhale here. And as you exhale, press your pubic bone down and float your legs. So it should feel marginally effortful, but quite floaty. And as you exhale again, bring your legs to the floor and lift your head and chest. Inhale, the head comes down and the legs elevate. Exhale, the legs go down, the chest elevates, and now the elbows come off the floor. And you open up into a nice back bend where there is, I think, probably some engagement in the legs engendered by the little bit of work we did. So this back bend is called seal pose when the hands are wide and the arms are straight. And shoulders are facilitated to come right down from the ears. And could you think about how you could make this more pleasant? It might be that you need to come down to Sphinx, for instance, if you're finding that it's too effortful. But what about little movements and shifts within the upper body or the pelvis? The pelvic floor moving, the buttocks moving. Make sure when your pelvis is moving that you can also feel that your vulval tissue is moving. So every bit of your body deserves and needs attention. And just because you're thinking about your vulva doesn't mean that it's all a bit salacious. It really is just tissue that does need care and attention. And then moving the belly and the chest and the shoulders and maybe the head. You can do all of this in Sphinx. Don't feel like you have to be up so high. Just make sure that the arm position isn't creating tension in your shoulders, and make sure it's not creating painful compression in your back, your lower back, or your neck or your jaw. So just playing around for another minute or so, which might make you know that you need to come lower if you know that you're going to be here for another minute. And could you allow, as you explore the body, to explore your face too, and allow a little broadening at the corners, the outside corners of your eyes, as if they were smiling. And maybe that happens in your jaw too. Head can go anywhere it wants, just avoid full circling of the head. You're playing softly into extension of the spine, heart opening and all of that. Eventually folding your way softly down. And if you did rest one cheek on the floor, rest the other one now for the symmetry of stretch of the neck. And if you rested your forehead, you can do that again, whatever you like. And then wobble your pelvis side to side again. Or let that imaginary massage therapist wobble it for you. And then back to neutral. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and stretch back through your heels. Should feel kind of nice on your calves. And then bring your knees down, bring your hands to the floor, and push gently up to all fours and back into a nice extended child's pose. But I would like you to bring your bum to your heels. Just keep the arms extended. A little tug on the heart and lung meridians here, as well as a nice rounding for the back after the arching. And an opportunity to breathe your belly into your thighs, so no tone required. Extend the right arm a little longer. Extend the left arm a little longer. And then neutral, or rather level arms. On our next inhale, we're going to rise up as if we're like a kraken waking. And on the next exhale, folding down. Inhale, we begin to rise. Exhale down again. Inhale, beginning to rise. Exhale down again. And this time, inhale, begin to rise and continue the rising until you come up onto all fours. Hands under your shoulders or slightly forward of that, knees under your hips. And we're trying for a neutral spine, so we're not dragging down in the lumbar spine. The spine isn't hanging like string, but neither are we rounding it. We're finding a neutral, minor curve in the lower back. A shoulder position that draws the shoulders easily back from the ears. The back of the neck is long, a slight tuck of the chin. So that's your starting point of neutral spine, where nothing is discombobulated and everything is safe. And from that safety, knowing that it's there to come back to, could you begin to explore spinal movements in all directions? And you can choose to kind of follow me, which is not going to be directed verbally. It'll be probably a bit difficult to do that, and deliberately so, because I'd like you instead to follow yourself. And follow yourself in a squirmy, instinctual way. If you can't do that, then think about how many different directions can I move my spine in. Lots of breath. Could you possibly have that smile on the corners of your eyes again? If your wrists don't like this, come to your elbows. Some nice, easeful play. Saying hello to the possibilities of your spine. Don't feel you need to keep your limbs on the floor. You might want to take an arm or a leg somewhere different. So I'll be bringing you through 2 postures after this, and that'll be the last thing we'll do. So this is your last improvisation chance. So what would you do if I was to say to you that this is your last time to move for a week? What would you enjoy? Don't have to stay on all fours. Could you ensure to get some kind of twist in there? And then over the course of the next 10, 20 seconds, could you enjoy your way towards a face down dog? Play with that journey. Try not to jump there immediately. Last chance to improvise in your face down dog. And then the next time anything, when you feel ready, take your right knee up to your right wrist with your right foot under your left hip, and walk your hands back into a gentle pigeon pose. So the foot is under the opposite hip, not under its own hip like this, but across and under. The pelvis is parallel to the floor, so you're not sitting down to the right. And we're going to exhale to push the shin down to the floor to rise up, and inhale to soften down towards the floor. Exhale to push the shin down to rise up. Inhale to soften down to the floor. Exhale to push down and rise up. Inhale to soften down and sit onto your right hip and swing onto your two buttocks so that you're sitting facing the side of your mat with your left leg long and your right heel in at your pelvis. Now we're going to turn to the right knee and take a little tip forward in the chest. Keeping the right hand on the floor, take the left arm up and back behind you. Look back to that left hand. Breathing, soften the shoulders. Exhale, bring that hand back down and reach it over above the right hand. Inhale to turn it off, out and to the left. Exhale, reach down towards the air above the right hand. We're going to walk up, bring the left hand onto the right knee, right hand behind, take a turn to the right. Bring your hands to the floor, stepping back into face down dog. A little mooch. Your time. And then sliding your left knee to your left wrist. Foot is under the opposite hip, right leg is extended back. Coming up to your fingertips. We're going to exhale to push the floor away from us with our shin. Inhale to relax. Exhale, pushing the shin down to lift off. Inhale to relax. Exhale, push down to the shin, lift your Mula Bandha. High up off the floor. And then sit down onto your left buttock, swinging the right leg around so you're on the heel of the right foot. Take your fingertips either side of your left knee and creep forward in your fingertips. Chest is moving forward. Left hand rests, right hand extends out behind you, turning the chest to the right, looking up to the hand, breathing in. Exhale, the hand comes back to the chest, reaches to the air above the left hand. Inhale to open out. Exhale, reach to the air above the left hand. Bring your hand back down and walk it up. Right hand to the knee, left hand behind you, a twist to the left. Coming back to center. Let your legs go wide. If you have a bolster or a chair, get the bolster or the chair in front of you between your legs. And put a cushion on top of the chair if you're using a chair. Sit on something if you need to get tall in your spine. And either bring your hands onto the chair and your forehead on your hands, or if you have a bolster, you should be comfortable just to bring your forehead onto the bolster and let your arms drape. If this is too much on your lower back, then there's two things you need to do. One is to elevate the pelvis. The other would be to put blocks under your knees. So when I say elevate the pelvis, I mean sit on something. Blocks under your knees may well be all you need, or for some of you, you might need to bend your knees up into spider shape and come up a bit higher maybe. So whatever you need to make yourself feel that you're inducing pleasure and ease rather than trying to fix yourself or get better at anything. What feels pleasant for your body? Really nice if you could drape your arms. Pulling gently back out. You have a choice for your relaxation to just lie down flat on your back. Or as you have the bolster there, you might like a little back bend for your relaxation. Elevate the top end. The bottom end is lower than the top end. And just rest back without bothering about the legs. You've just done a nice wide leg stretch anyway. So just a back bend here, the long bolster under the whole length of your spine and your head. Or straight flat down into Shavasana, maybe with the bolster under your thighs. And tune into the levels of pleasure in your body now, the levels of ease, of positive sensation or enjoyable sensation or interesting sensation. Tuning into what feels neutral, good, or pleasant, or pleasurable. You deserve to feel pleasure and ease. Can you give yourself over to surrendering to this moment? Another 5%, whether that means just physical surrender or letting go of wondering when you're going to finish, how soon you need to get up, what's coming next, and instead just really indulging in what could be an endless moment. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You're welcome to stay there for as long, long, long as you like. But if it is now or when it is the case that you need to get up, let your breath come in deeper. Bring small movements into your body, maybe fingers and toes, and eventually indulge in a long, yummy pandiculation as if you've just woken up. Have a long bed stretch, yawn, stretch, pandiculation. And when it is that you're done with that, roll to your side and take a while there for yourself. And when you've taken a while there on your side, sit for a while by yourself before you get on with your day. Take your time. No rush. Namaste. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.